last game of the season is much like the season as a whole for the Bills, a cliffhanger right up to the very end.
Touchdown, end zone, no! Oh, it was dropped!
The last game of the season is much like the season as a whole for the Bills, a cliffhanger right up to the very end. Good evening. Well, right to the bitter end, it was the kind of cliffhanger the Bills are famous for pulling out just at the last minute. Today it didn't happen. Brian joins us now to tell us just how it didn't happen.
What a wonderful football game, though.
Great game, but in
excellent
the end...
effort by the Bills. Can't fault them there, but they come up short. An exciting matchup to say the least in Cleveland. The Bills coming home disappointed. The game had it all. Great plays, poor plays, loads of drama. Let's pick up the excitement after the Bills had cut the Browns' lead to 3 when the rookie Eric Metcalf got his hands on it, and 90 yards later, he was in the end zone. The lightning bolt had the Bills down 10. To their credit, Buffalo fought back with tenacity. Kelly in the fourth quarter hit Thurman Thomas, and the Bills were right back in the game. But a key play saw Scott Norwood slip, and the extra point was blocked. Now, that was a big moment. Getting the ball back, Buffalo needed the touchdown, not the field goal. On 4th and 10, Kelly kept the drive alive. He finds Don Beebe to keep the hopes alive, and the Bills thought they had their opportunity. And Kelly thought he had the game won with this toss to Ronnie Harmon, who simply came up empty, a play that will haunt the Bills in the offseason. And then it would be Kelly being picked off by Clay Matthews as that extra point that was missed loomed large. The Bills had to go for the touchdown, not the field goal. The Browns move on with the 34-30 victory.
We played like we should have played. Just so happens that the last, it came down to one play or two plays, and we didn't come through. Happens like that. I guess we have to reevaluate what we did and go at it next year.
And that process usually begins in the short term, but a good effort by the Bills, and it's time to look ahead now. But just a great, great effort and a major disappointment.
A lot of highlights to come.
On the way.
It was a sad homecoming for the team tonight, although loyal Bills fans did try to send the players some kind of a message. They emerged from their plane in darkness and in silence tonight at Pryor Aviation. They could not see or hear the 100 or so screaming loyal fans out on Worley Drive who wanted to thank the team for an exciting season and an AFC East championship.
They're still number one. We'll do it next year.
But thoughts of today in Cleveland are painful for the head coach and his players.
It's over. We gave it our best, and, we came up about 3.5 seconds short.
Good effort.
3 seconds is an eternity in football.
For all the players who slowly made their way home in their cars through the honor guard of fans, the time between seasons may seem like an eternity. But these fans were determined to end on a positive note. Then there are these fans. They made the trip to Cleveland, and 300 of them are here at Celebrities celebrating, well, trying to make the best of the day.
They're barking at me, everything. I barked back. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. We fit in.
Very sad fan. I thought we could win the game after Kelly brought us down the field. I really did. But wasn't meant to be. Maybe next year.
What was it really like in Cleveland for Buffalo fans? Richard Reeve was there and tells us.
Even when Buffalo fans went through the turnstiles at Cleveland Stadium, they knew they would have a tough fight ahead. Emerging into this oldest NFL stadium, fans from Western New York were way outnumbered. But that couldn't stop them from saying to the nation, yes, we are Bills fans.
They are going to win, definitely, and then we're on our way to beat Denver.
And when the Bills emerged from their locker room, their supporters were there too. You could almost feel the solidarity of the fans, whether it was 2,000, 4,000, or 25,000, like it had been rumored last night.
It's sort of like a fraternity. If you're a Bills fan, you're a Bills fan for life. We follow this team when they were down, now we follow them when they're on top, and we're going with them.
But Browns fans didn't want to let anyone forget this was the dog pound after all. Even the color guard got into the act.
It got so cold here they could have renamed the dog pound the ice house. And unlike last year's playoff game, Bills fans were able to sit together in groups here so they could give themselves and the team more support.
It got kind of tough for some Bills fans who found themselves seated in Cleveland territory.
How'd you end up in the dog pound? I got the wrong person, get the tickets.
And so perhaps at the end of this game, Buffalo Bills fans saw the team that they always wanted, that many knew was always there. Despite the score, Bills fans agree they had a great time down here and a lot to be proud of. From Cleveland, Richard Reeve, News 4 Update.
Today's game was marred by a freak accident. 52-year-old Daniel Bowman of Tonawanda died after falling from an upper deck of the stadium in Cleveland while on an escalator. He fell on another fan who survived that accident. Bowman was pronounced dead at a Cleveland hospital of massive head injuries. Well, here in Buffalo, Bills fans close out the season with a party. As News 4's Kathy Polanco tells us, while Browns fans had a real reason to cheer, Bills fans did some cheering of their own.
Even though the Bills came out on the downside today, fans were up for the game. At the St. John Marone Parish Hall in Williamsville, a private party for 230 people featured a halftime that included fans throwing biscuits inside a doghouse with Bernie Kosar's picture on it.
You know, everybody's been down on the Bills. The Bills are a great team. They've taken us to the championship twice in the Eastern Division.
Emotions ran high at this house party in Kenmore this afternoon. There was the downside of a Browns touchdown to contend with, but then the Bills' second touchdown hit everyone throwing the high five and small children crying out for defense to do their part. While some enjoyed a crowd for the game, others, like Essie Harris, plan to watch the game quietly, wrapped up in one of the Bills' quilts that she makes out of sheer love for the team.
You know, far as I'm concerned, I guess I'm saying this, I don't mean to be selfish, but I just love the Bills so much. I guess that's the reason I think that they are the greatest. Go Bills!
Yes, very nice.
In the back room of the Hurdle Parker liquor store, employees watched the game after brisk sales of this AFC East champion-labeled champagne, bottled in Batavia.
So far, we've gotten in 50 cases, and 90% of our business today has been Bills champagne.
But the victory toast will have to wait till next year. While the Browns may have taken away the hopes of the Bills going to the Super Bowl, the Browns can't take away one thing, the fact that the Bills are the AFC East champs for 1989. Kathy Polanco, News 4 Update.
Monday, the Bills will get together at Rich Stadium for a final team meeting and to clean out their lockers until minicamp in March. Still ahead on Update tonight, an ugly, it was a sad moment, of course, but Pete Metzelaars did say, you know, we gave him a great game.
Yeah, absolutely, but winning is really all that matters. The Bills did come together today, Rich. It was a super team effort, but a major disappointment. The Bills showed an awful lot of heart. They put an awful lot of points on the board, but the defense was burned time and time again. They had those fancy orange shoes out for the Browns today, but they didn't help the kicker, Barr, here, who slips on the 45-yard field goal attempt. How about the dropsies the Bills had? Time and time again, Kelly threw nice passes that were dropped, but not by Andre Reed, who comes up with a 72-yard catch and run, and the Bills were on top 7-0. Now, the Browns would answer with a 45-yard Matt Barr field goal off that sloppy turf. It is just long enough, and Cleveland was on the board. Now, Bernie Kosar comes up with a 52-yard toss to Webster Slaughter, who burned Nate Odoms with a picture-perfect route and a great throw by Kosar. They set you up short and then go deep. As for Kelly, he makes a toss that James Lofton comes down with a beautiful catch. And look at the offensive line. What a magnificent game they played today. All kinds of time for Kelly. And he finds James Lofton, who says, excuse me. Hanford Dixon gets out of the way, and Lofton was in the end zone. Buffalo was up 14-10. Now, Cleveland regained the lead on a Ron Middleton catch. It was 17-14 at the intermission. Jim Kelly in the third quarter picked off, underthrown here, Mark Harper with the interception, the pass intended for Ronnie Harmon. And that set up Webster Slaughter's second touchdown of the day. Kelso caught in the middle of the field, can't get there in time. And Bernie Kosar's reaction as soon as he throws it says, hey, folks, that is 6 points. Now, Kelly comes up and throws a touchdown to Thurman Thomas, who had a terrific second half. And the Bills were back within reach at 24-21. Third quarter, however, this ensuing kickoff, and Eric Metcalf gets it, weaves his way through special teams. 90 yards later, he's in the end zone. Just a spectacular run there. Bills special teams, not a lot of breakdowns this year. Really not so much a breakdown there, just a great play against them. Now, after trading field goals, the Bills would come back. Thomas with the catch, but Norwood slips. And that kick goes right into the pile and the Bills were down 4 instead of the field goal, and that was a big, big play in this game. Kelly steps up in the pocket on 4th and 10 to keep that final drive alive. Don Beebe gets the catch. Then you'll see Kelly, and he looks right into your living room and goes for Ronnie Harmon. That's the catch that would have sent the Bills into the AFC title game, a play they'll remember all offseason long. And then Kelly was intercepted by Clay Matthews. Of course, had they only needed the 3, it could have been overtime, and who knows what would have happened. 34-30 the final. The Browns move on, and it's a dejected Bills locker room. Marv Levy talks about Harmon's drop.
What are we going to do? Say, hang on to the ball, look at the ball, what are you doing? It's pretty hard to explain why you dropped one. I tell you, the only time I ever saw Brooks Robinson play, he made 3 errors. You know, and how do I explain that? Eric's a great fielder he was.
You know, it's not an ideal field by any means, but it's something I wish I could have coped with a little bit better. I prepared as best I could up in Buffalo on ice and grass.
Well, I think there'll be a lot of changes, and I think some will be warranted, and of course a lot of them won't be warranted. So, you know, like I said, the mesh of the team has a lot to do with the coach. You got to pick the right players, and that's Marv's job.
To their credit, Thurman Thomas specifically, you know, he had been a bear to cover all day, and you know, picked a good time to finally cover him.
Well, no one can point a finger at Jim Kelly today. He played with an awful lot of heart.